In the last decade, Singapore Armed Forces has been enhancing its capabilities to stand ready and deal with not only the wide range of threats we know exist today, but also those in the digital domain we know will increase in the future. The Digital and Intelligence Service will be the fourth service to raise, train and sustain digital forces and capabilities to defend our digital borders. Welcome to the inauguration parade of the Digital and Intelligence Service.
Hello, I'm JK.
And I'm Joanna.
Today marks a significant milestone for the Singapore Armed Forces as it inaugurates its fourth service, the Digital and Intelligence Service, or DIS for short.
And in just a few minutes, we will be streaming live the inauguration parade of the DIS.
Now, Joanna, I'm really looking forward to it because I can't wait to see not just what the new service's ceremonial uniform looks like, but also the DIS crest. Now, as most of us know, each of the services, the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy, each have a distinct crest, which represents each of their unique identities. I'm really curious as to what the DIS crest will look like.
So am I. This crest will reflect the unique mission of the DIS, which is to meet the demands of the growing threats and opportunities in the digital domain, so that the SAF can continue to safeguard Singapore's sovereignty, security and safety. We're talking about a diverse, deep tech expertise in cybersecurity, software engineering, data science and cloud computing.
That's right. As I recall, Defence Minister Dr. Ng Eng Hen saying that this new service also requires people specializing in areas of psychology, anthropology, and communications. So it's going to be quite a unique outfit altogether because while the men and women of DIS each share a common SAF mission and its core values, their expertise and culture will be quite different from that of the other services.
Absolutely. That's because the missions of the DIS require different mindsets, very diverse expertise and a unique culture to not just defend but dominate the digital domains.
So do look out for the DIS crest later in the parade, as it would certainly signify the shared identity as a fourth service. Now, you might have also read in the news that the formation of DIS did not take place overnight. It has been 10 years in the making since the establishment of the SAF Command, Control, Communications, Computer and Intelligence, or C4I for short. So be sure to catch that story in a short while.
There's certainly a lot of things to look out for in today's parade. President Halimah Yacob is the guest of honor. She will soon arrive at the Safti Military Institute where the parade is held. Earlier this afternoon, we witnessed the consecration of colours ceremony for the DIS state colours. Let's take a look at how it went. The consecration of colours ceremony for the Digital and Intelligence Service was held at the ceremonial hall where military traditions are observed and ceremonies performed. Today, the ceremony was officiated by Chief of Defence Force, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong. He was accompanied by Director Military Intelligence, Chief C4I, Brigadier General Lee Yi-jin, C4I Senior Leadership, SAF Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Chua Hock Guan, C4I Sergeant Major Military Expert 5 No Kok Tiong. The Digital and Intelligence Service colours will be conferred by the President. Colours are awarded to units in recognition of their achievements in the fields of combat, training, administrative efficiency and service to community. The colours also promotes cohesion, esprit de corps and instill in the men and women of the unit a sense of pride and loyalty. The consecration ceremony began with the piling of drums and the laying of colours by the ensign. The new colours will be consecrated by the esteemed representatives of the religious faiths. They are respectfully invited to bless the colours. And this concludes the consecration of colours ceremony.
We will see the DIS state colours when Madam President presents it to CDI. Now, Joanna, we're getting word that the parade is about to start, so let's cross over live to the Safti Military Institute right now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Digital and Intelligence Service Inauguration Parade.
Today marks a significant milestone as SAF's fourth service, the Digital and Intelligence Service, is inaugurated.
Let us present to you our Digital and Intelligence Service crest.
This is our Digital and Intelligence Service crest. It's adapted from the SAF C4I logo to strengthen the symbolism and visual distinctiveness. The state crest represents the DIS's support for SAF's full spectrum of operations and its contribution towards the peace and security of Singapore. The networked globe, enveloped by crisscrossing rings, signifies our operating domain and shared identity as a service. The dots signify electrons, which represent the digital domain and the DIS's agility in operations. The golden laurels are a common feature of all services' crests and symbolize the DIS's commitment to mission success. The red banner represents our personnel's unity and loyalty, with the inscription, Digital and Intelligence.
Kawalan kehormatan. Masuk! Bas!
Sir! Kawalan kehormatan! Tarik kiri! Cepat jalan!
A very warm welcome to you. If you've just logged into our show, this is the inauguration parade of the SAF's fourth service, the Digital and Intelligence Service.
And here, marching in looking very smart, is the SAF Central Band, led by the Director of Music, Military Expert 4, Ignatius Wang. The Singapore Armed Forces Central Band is no stranger to many of us. We understand that they had written a special piece of music for this occasion, the DIS March. It was composed by Military Expert 2, Dax Wilson Liang, a group leader and head of training development in the band.
Now, the music evokes the spirit of the Digital and Intelligence Service, a spirit that is transformational and dominant and brings out the new service's resolve to defend and dominate in the digital domain. The band will be playing this song during the march-off, so do look out for it and listen out for it, as the melody is heartfelt, stirring, impactful, and forward-looking, just like the spirit of the DIS.
Coming in behind is the leading Guard of Honor contingent, which is made up of personnel from Joint Intelligence Command, led by Lieutenant Colonel O Kok Chai, and the contingent second in command is Military Expert 5, Vignesh.
And here's the regimental colors of the Imagery Support Group.
The second Guard of Honor contingent is formed by personnel from SAF C4 Command, led by Lieutenant Colonel Lim Yu Chai, and the contingent second in command is Major Sean Wong.
Sang dalam lu. Lus.
Kawalan kehormatan. Pandan ke hadapan. Dan.
Kawalan kehormatan. Hormat panji-panji. Hormat senjata.
Baris. Russo. Senjata. Baris. Senande. Ready.
The parade's second in command is Military Expert 6 Sean Galloway, Branch Head, Joint Intelligence Directorate.
The parade Regimental Sergeant Major is Military Expert 4 Harrison E. Sen Wing, Formation Sergeant Major, Counter-Terrorism Intelligence Group.
The SAF Central Band is led by the Director of Music, Military Expert 4 Ignatius Wang.
Baris. Ready. Ta.
Evening, sir. Parade's warm up and ready.
Baris. Senande. Ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander is Military Expert 6 Kusha Chin, Commander Counter-Terrorism Intelligence Group.
Participating in today's parade are 2 Guard of Honor contingents, the Imagery Support Group Regimental Colors, and the Singapore Armed Forces Central Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of Chief of Defence Force, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong.
He is accompanied by Chief C4I, Brigadier General Lee Yi Jin, and SAF Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Chua Hock Guan.
Baris. Ready. Yeah.
And there's the Chief of Defense Force, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong, accompanied by Chief C4I, Brigadier General Lee Yi Jin, and SAF Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Chua Hock Guan.
Baris. Hormat Panglima. Hormat. Senjata. Baris. Russo. Senjata.
Please be seated.
Baris, Senanding. Ready.
The journey towards becoming the DIS, from our origins as separate communities in the Military Intelligence Organization and the Joint Communications and Information Systems Department, then coming together as the SAF C4I in 2012, and finally today's inauguration as the SAF's fourth service, is only possible because of the outstanding vision and immense efforts of our pioneers. Let us look back and celebrate the past decade of achievements by those whom have led the way to the birth of the DIS.
The formation of C4I was born out of operational need. We started with the context of the third generation SAF, where we wanted to bring firepower to the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen. And we needed to harness the power of networks and information to do that.
The SF learned from past wars that the key challenge in strike has always been finding the target first and then having superior intel is cardinal. Prior to C4I Intel, we were organized around this construct known as the Military Intel Organization, or MIO for short.
So while we had communities that already existed, the joint C4 community, we were always dealing with networks. We had MIO, we had intelligence units right across air, land and sea. We needed to bring them together for these new objectives to elevate the outcome for the third generation SAF. And that's why we inaugurated the C4I community in 2012.
It gives me great pleasure, therefore, to be here today to inaugurate the C4I community that brings together the soldiers, sailors and airmen behind our command, control, communications, computer and intelligence networks.
Beyond operational and capability growth, building the C4I identity was paramount as a young community then. The inaugural C4I Dining in 2016 saw the launch of the C4I logo, and subsequently the launch of the C4I patch gave the community a sense of identity, united us in our common missions, and give us the strength to grow.
SF C4 Command was established in November 2017. Setting up the C4 Command really is to operate, maintain and protect the network. Then the element of the cyber defense is also important to protect the network. So hence Cyber Defense Group was also stood up at the same time.
People are the critical force multiplier and critical capability for C4I. One of the significant developments in the human capital landscape for C4I happened when we created new vocations to raise, train and sustain cyber capabilities. So namely the C4 Axis and the DC Axis. We also established the Cyber Workman Scheme to select and train able and willing NSFs and deploy them into cyber jobs. We also established the SAF Cyber Defense School to train all our cyber defenders from C4 Axis to DC Axis as well as cyber specialists. In 2019, we established the C4I Wing in Officer Cadet School. Ultimately, the aim of the C4I Wing is to train our senior military experts to lead, to excel, and to overcome in this new area, a new domain of warfighting for C4I.
Terrorism was yet another area of concern for Singapore due to our geographical vulnerability. C4I established Counter-Terrorism Intelligence Group in 2020. This expanded our C4I's role from CT Incident Response to CT Early Warning. In 2021, the Multilateral Counter-Terrorism Information Facility was operationalized in Singapore, bringing together like-minded countries for CT collaboration and safeguarding the region.
To prepare to face increasing threats in the digital domain, the SAF restructured to bring the Defence Cyber Organisation under the SAF C4I in 2021. We also established the Cybersecurity Task Force and the Cyber Headquarters to enhance our cyber defence. Together, the mission is to provide early warning and threat intelligence, as well as to centralise the resources necessary to respond to cyber threats, to operations such as threat hunting and incident response.
So as I look back over 10, 11 years of C4I, the progress we've made, with the sure steps that we've taken, we are very thankful that we took those steps.
Over the last decade, there was a lot of demand for C4I areas, and I guess as a small community, we had to quickly rise up to the challenge, and I think we did that.
Today, as we turn 10, we are humbled by our pioneers and those who have laid the foundation of C4I 10 years ago and made today a reality. We are excited, but equally aware that the responsibility to bring digital and intelligence service forward now fall on our shoulders. We take it seriously and will fulfill our mission regardless of how challenging the days ahead will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the Minister for Defence, Dr. Ng Eng Hen.
Morris, steady! Yeah!
And there's the Defense Minister, Dr. Ng Eng Hen, and he's accompanied by Deputy Chief C4I, Rear Admiral Ang Chi Wee. And here he's greeted by Chief of Defense Force, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong, and Brigadier General Lee Yi-jin.
Morris, Homan Military, Homan, Senja! Ta! Morris, Russo, Senja! Ta!
Please be seated.
Morris, Senanding! Ready!
Our people stands at the heart of the DIS. The commitment of our people to the DIS mission success, the expertise and professionalism of our people to keep the DIS at the forefront of technology and ahead of all challenges. These are the force multipliers for the DIS to defend and dominate the digital domain, to enhance Singapore's security from peace to war. Let us hear our people share their aspirations for the future of the DIS and their dedication to the mission success of the DIS.
For the SAF, the DIS will protect its networks and system and strengthen our soldiers' commitment and resilience in operations. It will also continue to provide accurate, relevant and timely intelligence to support SAF operations and capitalize on cutting-edge digital technologies to advance SAF's digitalization as a network force.
The formation of the Digital and Intelligence Service today signifies a decisive move by the SAF to build up our capability to meet growing threats in the digital domain. This is witnessed in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine crisis, where hybrid warfare using non-kinetic methods of disruptions represent the face of modern warfare today.
Even as we grow our capabilities, I believe the joint nature of the DIS will remain fundamental to the service. The DIS will continue to partner the Army, Navy and Air Force in operations and in exercises, such as Exercise Forging Sabre, to maintain the SAF's operational edge.
For the SAF to fight and win in the multi-domain battle space, the DIS will partner the other services to design interoperable C4 architectures that support whole of SAF needs.
In cyber, we will continue to safeguard MINDEF SAF's networks and systems. We will also work closely with other national agencies to provide expertise and resources to support response and recovery operations in times of national crisis.
A highly skilled digital workforce is key to the digital defense strategy of the SAF. The C4X and DCX schemes have been expanded to include digital competencies such as software engineering, artificial intelligence, and cloud architecting.
Full-time national servicemen are also given the opportunity to serve in the DIS under the Worklearn scheme where we gain valuable experience working while earning academic credits.
I hope that we can attract more digital talents to help build the DIS community and also for us to be the forefront of future technological advances.
I believe the DIS's open culture and innovative spirit will take us forward in a new chapter. Our people have always been creative, bold, and not afraid to share their ideas. And I think that's how we can always stay ahead of our adversaries.
But at the heart of it all, DIS must maintain a mission mindset and be grounded in the SAF core values. Our people must remain committed and focused on delivering game-changing outcomes by staying vigilant, agile, and innovative so that our forces can be deployed with confidence to defend Singapore round the clock.
I'm very excited that the DIS is finally becoming a full-fledged service. As a community, there's a lot of pride and recognition behind it.
I'm eager to see what more we can do and achieve together with the rest of the services for the defense of Singapore.
We have come a long way and accomplished a lot in the past 10 years. I believe that as a service, we will achieve a lot more and push our boundaries even further.
We stand on the shoulders of giants, pioneers who have laid the strong foundation on which we will build the DIS of tomorrow. We reap the fruits of their labor and we will continue to strive to take the DIS forward in the next act.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of Madam Halima Yaakob, President of the Republic of Singapore.
Baris! Ready! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Her Excellency, Madam Halima Yaakob.
Baris! Hormat President! Hormat! Senja! Stop! Baris! Russo! Senja! Stop!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Madam President, the parade is formed up and ready for inspection, ma'am.
Madam President will now inspect the two Guard of Honor contingents, the Imagery Support Group Regimental Colours and the Singapore Armed Forces Central Band.
Baris, Senande! Read!
Ladies and gentlemen, Madam President will now deliver her speech. Madam, please.
Dr. Ng Eng Hen, Minister for Defence, Commanders, men and women of the Singapore Armed Forces, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Today marks a significant milestone for the Singapore Armed Forces as it inaugurates the Digital and Intelligence Service, or the DIS, is fourth to join the Army, Navy, and Air Force services. The SAF was set up as soon as Singapore gained independence in 1965. Having experienced the Japanese occupation, the threats of communism and communalism without self-defense capabilities, the founding leaders recognized that Singapore's continued survival and prosperity was not possible without a strong SAF to protect its interests and sovereignty. For a small island with limited manpower, national service would be needed to build up the SAF. As we commemorate 55 years of national service this year, I would like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to all national servicemen who have served in our nation's security, as well as the many family members, employers, and work colleagues who have supported them. Your contributions are deeply valued by our nation. To fulfill this mandate to defend Singapore, the SAF has needed to adapt itself across the past decades to respond adequately to new security threats as well as technological change. Today, the SAF, as a modernized combined arms military, has been transformed, a far cry from the 2 infantry battalions, 2 wooden boats, 2 leased aircraft, and 1,000-man People's Defense Force in 1965. The SAF, with its modern military technologies and highly trained servicemen and women, is able to respond to a wide spectrum of operations. It is an integrated force that guards our air, land, and maritime borders on a daily basis. The SAF has benchmarked its capabilities and done well in international security missions, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief situations, and contributing to national crises such as SARS and COVID-19. Today's inauguration of the DIS is timely and necessary for the SAF to adapt itself to defend Singapore against the security threats that exist in the digital and information domains. In the past decade, we have witnessed many attacks on other countries, not through traditional armed conflicts, but through the digital realm. The impact of these digital attacks is real and can result in disruption of essential services, data theft, and even local elections. Termed hybrid warfare, it can be a preamble or part of an orchestrated campaign against a target nation by state and non-state actors. Just as the SAF defends Singapore in the air, land, and sea, the Fourth Service will provide us the capabilities to defend ourselves against attacks in the digital domain. As a forerunner of the DIS, the SAF C4, or Command, Control, Communications, Computers, and Intelligence Community, has been laying the building blocks over the past decade. These include restructuring the military intelligence organization to meet the expanded intelligence demands for non-conventional threats, as well as creating specialized units such as the SAF C4 Command, Defense Cyber Organization, and Cyber Security Task Force to bolster defense of MINDEF SAF's networks against cyber threats. These past efforts have put the DIS in good stead to fulfill its role as a service. I am pleased that many C4 and MIO pioneers are here to witness this significant occasion. The DIS inaugurated today is the fruit of your collective foresight and efforts. To fulfill its mandate, the DIS will not only need a highly skilled digital core, but also those trained in other domains, such as psychology and social sciences, to understand the motivations and means of hybrid threats and respond decisively. The SAF had already been steadily building a strong core of C4, defense, cyber, and military intelligence experts through various vocational schemes. I am glad to know that the DIS has expanded these schemes to include skills in emerging digital fields such as data science, artificial intelligence, and cloud technologies. My hope is that the DIS will nurture a skilled and competent workforce that will not only defend our digital borders, but also contribute to a strong national digital ecosystem in government and key sectors of the economy. Digital defense is complex and will require partnerships to be more comprehensive in our nation's digital defense. The DIS will need to tap on the best of breed in technology, exchange best practices, and collaborate with like-minded partners to achieve the mission. To this end, I encourage the DIS to collaborate with partners across the MINDEF and SAF family, whole of government agencies, and like-minded partners in academia and industry in defending our nation against digital threats. To the men and women of the DIS, you are the pioneers of a new service. Always have the mission in mind and embody the same pioneering spirit that your predecessors in C4 and across the wider SAF had in bringing us to where we are today. Strive for technical and operational excellence while staying true to the SAF core values and ethos. This will be key to your enduring success as a service. I am pleased to present the DIS with the state colors today. With the presentation of the state colors, I entrust the DIS with the mission to defend the peace and security of Singapore in this new domain. As the fourth service of the Singapore Armed Forces, may you ensure that we will always remain yang pertama dan utama, first and foremost. I wish the DIS every success in the years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
We will now invite Madam President to present the letter of appointment, the Chief of Digital and Intelligence Service to Brigadier General Lee Yi-jin. Madam, please. Congratulations to Brigadier General Lee Yi-jin, sir, on your new appointment.
Madam President would now present the Digital and Intelligence Service State Colors to Chief of Digital and Intelligence Service. Thank you, Madam President.
As with all the existing state colors for the SAF Army, RSN and RSAF, the DIS crest sits on the bottom right edge of the state flag, a powerful symbol of the ethos of the DIS men and women, representing their loyalty, honor, and pride.
The parade will now pay compliments to the Digital and Intelligence Service state colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Boris, steady! Yeah! Boris, 伙伴班级班级，伙伴，参加，大。
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Baris, senang deh. Read.
We will now invite Chief of Defence Force, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong, to present the Digital and Intelligence Service Command Symbol to Chief of Digital and Intelligence Service, Brigadier General Lee Yi-jin.
Chief of Defence Force, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong, will now witness the oath taking by Chief of Digital and Intelligence Service, Brigadier General Lee Yi-jin. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Baris, steady. Yeah.
In the presence of Chief of Defence Force, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong, men and women of the Digital and Intelligence Service, I, Brigadier General Lee Yi-jin, Chief of the Digital and Intelligence Service, do hereby solemnly and sincerely pledge that I will always be loyal to the Republic of Singapore and the Singapore Armed Forces. I will always discharge the duties of my command efficiently and objectively, without fear or favor. I will always have the interest and welfare of my men and women at heart. I will do my utmost to maintain a high standard of performance, discipline, and administration in the Digital and Intelligence Service. I will do my utmost to uphold the integrity and honor of the Singapore Armed Forces and the Digital and Intelligence Service.
Thank you, Chief of Defence Force, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The parade will now pay compliments to Chief of Digital and Intelligence Service, Brigadier General Lee Yi-jin.
Baris, hormat Panglima, hormat, senjata. Baris, Russo, senjata.
Madam President, may I have your permission to march off the parade, ma'am?
Baris akan berjalan keluar dalam masa cepat. Bergerak ke kanan bertiga-tiga. Ke kanan, bow! Take! 끼리끼리 첫 번째 반!
Ladies and gentlemen, as a mark of respect, please rise when the colors pass your immediate front. All military personnel in uniform are to salute the colors.
Featured in this evening's parade are 2 Guard of Honor contingents and the SAF Central Band. The music that the parade marching to is the DIS March. It is specially composed by military expert 2 Dex Wilson Young from the SAF Central Band for the inauguration of the DIS and performed publicly for the first time today. The DIS March evokes the spirit of the Digital and Intelligence Service, a spirit that is transformative and dominant, inspiring and forward-looking, a spirit befitting the digital domain in which the DIS will defend and dominate.
Ladies and gentlemen, leading the parade in the march past is the parade commander, military expert 6, Ku Shi-chin. Marching behind is the newly conferred Digital and Intelligence Service state colors and regimental colors of Imagery Support Group, followed by the parade regimental sergeant major, military expert 4, Harrison Yee.
The leading Guard of Honor contingents are personnel from Joint Intelligence Command, led by Lieutenant Colonel O Kok Chai, and the contingent's second in command is Military Expert 5, Vignesh, son of Soman.
The second Guard of Honor contingent is formed by personnel from SAF C4 Command, led by Lieutenant Colonel Lim Yu Kai, and the contingent's second in command is Major Sean Wong.
Bringing up the rear is the parade second in command, Military Expert 6, Sean Galloway. Ladies and gentlemen, leading the SAF Central Band for the march past is Drum Major, Military Expert 2, Chua Keng Lee. And on his right is the Director of Music, Military Expert 4, Ignatius Wang.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the Digital and Intelligence Service Inauguration Parade. We hope you have enjoyed this evening's parade.
We've come to the end of the inauguration parade of the Digital and Intelligence Service. We hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as we did.
Thank you for your company and have a good evening and weekend ahead.